morning, everyone, and delighted to be with you, and absolutely delighted to be joined by Michael Rousseau, CEO at Air Canada, Star Alliance carrier, of course. Michael, of course, became CEO in February 2021, correct? Yes, so I want to maximize the time to hear from you, Michael, so I'm going to get straight into some of the what's happening at Air Canada. Could you start off, please, with where are things on the sort of the ramp up, the operational side, etc. What's happening right now?
Sure, and good morning to everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. So Canada shut down fairly hard and opened up fairly quickly. Restrictions came off earlier this year when Omicron was over. And so we went from about 10% in February, March to about 80% in June, July. And so that was a very interesting challenge for the entire ecosystem to go that fast, that quickly. And certainly there were some operational challenges, but those are all now stabilized, and we're back to normal and still running about 80%. Now within that 80%, certainly leisure is leading the way. Business traffic was a little bit slower in the summertime, but we're seeing post-Labor Day business traffic come back stronger as more and more business people get back into their offices.
So you're seeing obviously very similar to what we saw in North America as soon as things came back. The customer demand is definitely there.
Absolutely, and Air Canada is a very international type airline where we fly to roughly 100 destinations outside Canada and US. We fly to about 50 within Canada and 50 within the United States. And all the markets that we fly to are coming back fairly strong, obviously with the exception of China, which hopefully comes back soon.
What do you see? Are you seeing any changes in what people are prioritizing in terms from a passenger perspective, and what are you doing on the customer service initiative side? I know you've got the CCX program, so can you just talk a little bit on that, please?
Sure. I think we believe that technology will play even a more important role going forward to make a much more frictionless experience for the customer. There's no doubt we learned a lot of things during the pandemic. Most airlines learned a lot of things during the pandemic. Customers want certainty. They want options. And so we spent a lot of time with our e-commerce side and our technology side, making that journey much easier for the customer, allowing that customer to get through the airport quicker, and giving that customer options in the case of disruption, giving that customer options ASAP as to them getting to their destination. So
is that about, do you think people do want more automation and more self-control, if you like?
Absolutely.
Is that what you're talking about?
Absolutely. And it's a challenge because the world works in real time, and airlines take some time to figure out options, especially if a flight's canceled or delayed. But we're working hard to make sure that we can provide real-time solutions to customers and give them the best experience possible, both if they're on time and in some rare cases when we're not on time.
What about lounges? And are people, is that in higher demand for those sorts of facilities?
I believe so. What we've seen is leisure customers buying up. Exactly. And that gives them access to the lounge, which is quite an experience. Air Canada has an incredible suite of lounges around the world at different levels. And so we're seeing more activity in the lounge. We did have self-service, or we had counter service in the lounge during the pandemic for health reasons. But now our lounges are going back to self-service. And again, further to the point earlier, customers want self-service. They want to control their own destiny. And it's up to us as an airline to provide that framework to provide them the maximum flexibility.
And now let's just talk a little bit about partnerships. And I guess I'd just start off by saying I think it's fair to say that leading up to the pandemic, there started to be a bit of cynicism about alliances and JVs and things like this. Are they really worth it? And of course, you're Air Canada, founding partner with Star, and I think people have a different view of that in terms of just how valuable those partnerships were. So can you just first of all talk a little bit about, you know, what Star Alliance has meant to you through these, to Air Canada?
Well, there may have been some people debating alliances. We never debated it. It's always been a core element of our strategy going forward to partner with the best. And as a founding member of Star, we look for opportunities to, one, co-chair with all our Star partners. But on top of that, we formed a very, very strong cross-Atlantic alliance with Lufthansa and United called A++. And that has been a benefit, obviously, for the airlines, but also for customers, because it provides a much more seamless experience for the customer to transfer planes, whether it's United, Air Canada, or Lufthansa. Now, we've extended that, and just before the pandemic hit, we did a alliance co-chair with Air China, because again, we had a very large franchise into China, and also being a Star partner. That's been put on the back burner until China comes back, but we look forward to that relationship and deepening that relationship over the next little while. And then more recently, we always had a transborder relationship with United, but more recently we just announced a much deeper relationship with United that makes available all seats, you know, full access to lounges, full access to loyalty programs, and so again, trying to make what we will make that customer journey much more enjoyable and much more seamless. And then more recently, and I know United just announced their relationship with the Emirates yesterday, but we, a couple of weeks ago, introduced or announced a strategic partner with Emirates. And we'll be developing that over the next little while, hopefully into a code share. But we think, again, that's another important element to get access to certain markets that we may not want to fly directly to, as well as having Emirates getting more access to Canada.
So was that independently done, because of that, I'm thinking, you know, that triangle there of United, Emirates, Canada?
No, it was
absolutely,
absolutely
totally independent.
We had our own objectives,
yeah.
And so it was completely independently done and negotiated with Emirates separately.
Okay. Another huge change, if you like, not so much change, but a change in focus for Air Canada in the pandemic was your pivot to cargo. And, you know, we saw several airlines, of course, you know, do that, but certainly at Air Canada, that was an important thing. I believe you're going to continue that focus on cargo, is that correct?
No, very interesting area. Many years ago, we were in cargo. We had cargo freighters. We got rid of them. In fact, one of my first roles or responsibilities as CFO of the company was to get rid of the cargo division. I've come full circle, and we think cargo is an excellent business for Air Canada. It leverages our brand, it leverages our international network, and during the pandemic, we took a number of our wide bodies, 330s and 777s, took out all the seats, and we doubled the size of the cargo. Now, those planes have come back to passenger planes as the markets come back, but we saw the opportunity to expand. And so we will be taking 8 of our older 767s and converting them to all cargo. We've got 2 in operation now. We should have 4 or 5 by Q1 of next year. We've also committed to buying 2 brand new 767 freighters, as well as 2 brand new 777 freighters. So we should have a fleet of 12 freighters in the next couple of years. And again, leveraging our brand, our international reach, our relationships with freight forwarders, and we'd like to double the business over that period of time.
So that's an actual, it's going to be a growth market for you going forward. I think you've got some sort of interesting markets that you've found as well, is that right? I've heard about lobsters going from Halifax to Europe, is that right?
And flowers from South America up to Canada. So there's many different opportunities for us to use our international network to move more cargo and diversify our revenue base to some degree.
So this is not something that you're going to obviously retreat from by the sound of it?
No, you can hear it from me today. We're committing to moving forward on the cargo business.
Big topic, of course, for the industry in general, and one that's always been at the centre of Air Canada's philosophy is sustainability. And you have made news today. I'm going to ask you a little bit for some detail on that. It's you're buying 30 ES-30 electric regional jets, correct? And
from Hart Industries out of Sweden.
Sweden. Yeah.
Absolutely right. At a higher level, Air Canada has been very committed to sustainability. A number of initiatives. We've taken down emissions 43% over the last 20-some years, primarily by buying a new fleet, spending $12 billion on much more efficient aircraft. There's no doubt there's another level to sustainability for us to hit our net zero by 2050, and we also have an interim target of 20% by 2030. Certainly carbon credits in the short term is an issue. SAF is something we're working on hard, both globally and with Canada, with the Canadian government and with partners in Canada. But the third leg is technology, airplane technology. And so we have been working with Hart, which we think is a leader in the industry over the last little while, and giving them some advice as to what is commercially attractive to us. And so we committed and announced this morning, by coincidence, that we're going to buy 30 planes, all electric planes, 2028 timeframe, which again, Hart is a leader in this industry from a timing perspective and a technology perspective. Depending on what you do, they can go about 400 kilometers and again carry 30 people. As you know, Canada. We fly internationally all over the world, but we also fly to small markets within Canada. And so these planes are well positioned to replace the existing planes by the end of the decade to fly to smaller markets within Canada. And so there's going to be a lot of opportunity. And the fact that we can go with zero emissions is a big step forward to both our 2030 and our 2050 target.
And the pace with which that is happening is quite incredible. When you say, so people will have the opportunity to be flying on these new technology aircraft as soon as 28. That's quite extraordinary. And they are replacement aircraft, are they? They're going to be replacing.
I think so. For the most part, they'll be replacing. But again, these are much more cost efficient for obvious reasons. And so we like to think that we can possibly expand into other regional markets with this type of zero emission, lower cost aircraft.
So another interesting aspect of this deal is that you're actually making an investment in Hart. Why have you done that?
Well, we committed a fund of $50 million to invest in new technologies, whether that's carbon capture or aircraft technology. And so Hart's our first investment of $5 million. We believe in the technology. We want to be part of the technology. We're part of their advisory board as well to provide input to them on a go-forward basis. And again, we keep looking for opportunities to invest in leading edge companies, whether it's carbon capture or aircraft technology. And we're very happy to partner with Hart on this first step.
So it's a partnership as well as a customer deal. As I said, Air Canada, sustainability has been at the heart of Air Canada way before this became a trend, if that's what is your overarching philosophy, if you like, about what it means to be a sustainable airline and what that means to passengers today?
Listen, it's an absolute necessity, and it's just not customers. We have an incredible program with customers that they can buy offsets and eventually can buy SAF as well. So customers are one key stakeholder, but our employees are demanding it as well. They want to be part of an organization that's helping the world, and then obviously investors are also very interested in what we're doing. So again, I think our leadership position over the last couple of decades positions us very well to continue to satisfy all those stakeholders from a sustainability perspective.
So it's been a particularly tough time for Air Canada because you know, as you say, everything closed, even territories within Canada closed. You didn't get the government aid that we saw, you know, other airlines get. But you sound optimistic now for where Air Canada's going and the industry is going. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct. And again, I prefer not to have gone through the 2 years we've gone through, but we learned a lot. We pivoted on a whole bunch of different issues. We have an incredible team that got us through the pandemic. We entered the pandemic with a very strong balance sheet, so we were able to exit with also a fairly strong balance sheet. So we can take advantage of opportunities as we go forward. And that's the key issue, is that we are a very fluid, creative company, and the pandemic's taught us a bunch of things that we'll continue to leverage as we go forward.
Excellent. Michael, thank you so much for your time.
Karen, my pleasure.
Thank
you
you.
all.
We could go that side.
Okay.